Legend of Zelda games on Nintendo Wii and Wii U. Here we go. Wormys Playhouse, and I just wanted to talk about quickly today some of the few Legend of Zelda games that released on Nintendo Wii and Wii U, because I just recently, just today actually, got in the mail Link's Crossbow Training out for the Nintendo Wii. This game is basically the minigame version for Legend of Zelda. If you remember Link's bow and arrow, all the way back from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, that's pretty much where I basically remember it from. Ocarina of Time, when you first introduced their bow and arrow mechanic, and you know, I wasn't too thrilled about it. It was interesting, it was really cool to have, but I was never that great with it. And I remember riding the horse, you had to ride along on Epona, and you had to hit these bullseyes that were in front of you on Epona. It was kind of hard to control. You're trying to control Epona, your horse, trying to maneuver back and forth and sprint across the field and shoot your bow and arrow at these bullseyes. But this is basically reminiscent from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. That's where this came from. In Nintendo's eyes, they perfected it in Twilight Princess. Well, personally, I have to disagree with that because I was never that great with it. Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm not good at it. But you know, Nintendo thought it was a really great idea, that a really interesting game mechanic, and well, they made an entire game out of it. So they released this for the Wii, of course, because it has that motion control. And apparently this came with this really interesting crossbow accessory that you would actually put your Wii controller into it, and you would use that as your crossbow gun. This game, you know, it was never my type. It's not the best game. The controls are really hard to control, so it wasn't for me. But you know, I had to add it to my collection. And guess who I just got it from? Well, Isha Gaming. She's a fantastic YouTuber. She reviews all sorts of video games and Nintendo Switch related stuff. So Isha Gaming, well, she put out a tweet. She said that, well, I have a few of these games that I'm just getting rid of. Does anybody want them? Just pay the shipping, that's all. So of course I saw that she had Link's Crossbow Training, and well, I didn't have it, so I just had to get it. I had to add it to my collection. Actually, this is region locked to a different region, so I can't actually play it on my physical Wii or Wii U. It's just region locked, so it won't work. But I had to add it to the collection. It's just so cool just to have it. You know, I'm a big fan of Legend of Zelda, so anything Zelda related, I just have to have. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And she sent me the little postcard and business card, and she signed them both. So that's really cool. I very much appreciate it. Definitely check out Isha Gaming. But since I got Link's Crossbow Training in the mail, I just thought, well, hey, let me just talk about some of the games that are on the Wii and Wii U. There's not that many Zelda games on those two consoles, but there are a couple good ones. So this is completely in a different language. I can't even read what's going on here. You know, I never played it. It won't work in my console, but what's really cool is that it comes with an instruction manual. Not just one instruction manual, but you have two. And not just two, but you have three. You have three manuals for this game. That's kind of amazing right there. I can't even fathom why they would include three manuals, but I don't know what some of this is for. I'm assuming this is just for health and safety precautions booklet, though it's in different languages. I can't read that. And this is like an advertisement thing for the Wii, which is really neat because it has some video games in here. You got the Wii Play, Mario Party 8, you have Super Mario Galaxy, you got Excite Truck, Metroid Prime 3 is a fantastic game for the Wii, and here's the actual instruction booklet, which just comes with a lot of stuff. It's, you know, it's got full detail, full colors, so this is really neat. So here's the actual gun. I'll show a close-up of this. So that's kind of cool to just have. I guess it would help with the accuracy in the game. So whether or not Link's Crossbow Training is even any good, again, it won't even play on my console, but that's all irrelevant. I just want it for my collection. I'm not really a collector, but you know, Legend of Zelda stuff, I just had to have it. So it's in a good home, it's in great shape. I'm gonna cherish it. I'm gonna display it up on my little Zelda shelf here. But that brings us on to some other Zelda games out on the Wii and Wii U. So we have Skyward Sword on Nintendo Wii. This is everyone's favorite Zelda game. Not really. You know, this is like the black sheep of the family. Because I think mainly it had a lot of problems with the motion controls. Although I remember when this game was coming out, I had a lot of anticipation for it. There was a lot of build-up. I was excited for it. I was like, oh, I have to get it. I just can't wait for it. You know, it was just so much build-up for this game. And it kind of just disappointed everyone. It was extremely linear. There wasn't a lot going on. The story was... Actually, you know what? The story was really interesting because it had that prequel storyline going on. This is the story before the actual original Zelda series stories. It takes place up in Skyloft, up in the air, so you're flying around in this awesome bird. That's a really cool mechanic, but again, it was mainly the motion controls. The entire game was linear, and you were completely revisiting the same areas over and over again, so that, you know, dragged the game down, and it was really long. The game was really long, and it also held your hand too much. But I did have a lot of fun playing it. You know, I played through this game twice. I beat it twice. So what does that say? Yeah, it's the worst Zelda game, but I beat it twice. So, you know, I got some enjoyment out of it. And this is the 25th anniversary edition for Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. It has a gold cover. It even has a soundtrack inside. So it has all the music from the game, and it was orchestrated. So that was really neat to have right there. So you have the soundtrack here. You have the actual Wii game. And of course, you have your instruction booklets. I think the Wii was like the last generation for Nintendo to have instruction booklets, and you get all these pamphlets with it. So this is really nice. Yeah, some of it is advertisements. I think that's a code for the actual game, so you can download it. I never did that apparently. This, oh look at this! I didn't even know I had this. Okay, no, I did use this up. This was a points voucher for your Nintendo eShop. You could use it on the Wii and the 3DS. I just kept it because it had Skyward Sword on it, so that was really cool. Here's another advertisement for Kirby Return to Dreamland and Donkey Kong Country Returns. So here's the Legend of Zelda 25th Anniversary Symphony pamphlet here. This tells you all the songs on the soundtrack. So this is really interesting. It gives you some insider information from the designers and devs of this game. So that's really cool to see. It has Eiji Aonuma, Shigeru Miyamoto, and Koji Kondo. So this is really cool to have. It's kind of like a collector's item to have. And here's the actual instruction booklet. So it's nice that we do have this. This is actually pretty beautiful because this is really well colored. This is really well made. And you know, we don't get this stuff anymore. You'll never see this in games that much anymore. Some you do, but not often. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, originally released for the GameCube, and then they did an HD remake of the game, and I have the HD remake of Twilight Princess right here. This remake is absolutely phenomenal. I really enjoy it. You can really see the love and care that they took into making this game. You know, the colors just kind of popped that much more. You know, I originally had, it was kind of flat and a little bit hazed over, because again, it was just in 420p. So seeing it in full HD is an amazing feat to have. I definitely recommend playing it if you have a Wii U. This is a really dark Zelda game. This was that game because, you know, Wind Waker came out on the GameCube and everyone was upset because of the bright and vibrant cartoony colors of the game, and everyone wanted that next generation of Zelda to be on their new console. So, well, Nintendo brought Twilight Princess out, and it was such a fantastic game. Well, you know, it had some problems, but well, that's near say or hey say. Is that even right? Did I say that right? But again, with the Wii U, since, you know, they were spending so much time on, you know, the next Zelda Wii U game, that, you know, they took some of the old games and ported them over in full HD, so we got Twilight Princess HD, definitely recommend it. And with the HD remake of Twilight Princess, well, we also got the HD remake of Wind Waker. Now, I don't actually have a physical copy of that game, so I have to get that. I have to seek it out for my little Zelda collection here. But I do have it digitally. I downloaded it on the Wii U. I remember when I bought the Wii U, for some reason there was some kind of promotional thing going on where you would get a free game with a purchase of the actual console. Thank goodness I did, because Wind Waker is absolutely, hands down, my favorite Zelda game of all time. There's a fantastic story going on with this game. It's a fantastic open world, open ocean world. You're sailing the open blue. There's all these different islands that you can venture out and seek out for. There's little mini dungeons. You know, this was Nintendo's way of trying to jump into that open world concept. And I think they did a fairly good job. And I love the music. It's absolutely some of my favorite Zelda music in Wind Waker. I mean, how can you not love that? Just that ocean sound, the ocean theme song, just sailing that beautiful blue ocean. So I have to seek out the physical copy of that game because, you know, it is my absolute favorite favorite Zelda game, so I just have to have it. You know, I don't own all the Zelda games. I don't own every single one. There's tons of ones that I have played, but I don't own them anymore. Something happened, or I just didn't seek them out. I have played most Zelda games, but not all, you know. I'm a big fan of the series, but sometimes you just can't play them all. You know, that's just part of life. And then we got Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors. Now, this is the crossover of Zelda and Dynasty Wars. It's that action-packed, you're fighting endless hordes of enemies. It's a really great game. It's fun. They did create an actual storyline for this game, so it's really fun. It's really vibrant, and it's just the music in this game. It has that anthem-style music going on. It really pumps you up. It has all the characters throughout all the Zelda games in the entire Zelda universe, and a few new characters that they created just for this game, and they did bring them all together to form an actual storyline for this. So that's fantastic right there. It's an enjoyable game. It's so great that they even brought it over to the Nintendo Switch. So it's out on Switch now. Definitely pick it up if you haven't. What are you waiting for? And then finally, that brings us up to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Hands down, the absolute best Zelda game in this series. I know I said Wind Waker is my favorite Zelda game, but Breath of the Wild took such a turn for this series. It really branched out from the traditional Zelda-ness style. It really mastered that open world concept. You know, it brought us all the way back to the very first Zelda game on the NES. You know, that had that open world style concept. You just had to go. You were set, here's your sword, and set out on your adventure. And Nintendo wanted to bring that into the next Zelda game. This was originally supposed to be the Zelda Wii U game, but because of development issues and just because of the sales for the Nintendo Wii U, that, you know, of course, it just makes sense, marketing wise and sales wise, that they wanted to release it for the Switch. But just so you're aware, Breath of the Wild is a Wii U game. Yes, it is on Nintendo Switch, and of course I have the Switch version. That's where I played the game. I have so many hours into the Switch version of Breath of the Wild, over 500 hours in that game. I absolutely love it. You can just jump into this game anywhere in the world and just explore it. It's an exploration style game, which is fantastic. It's amazingly beautiful. I love the art style of it. It's a little bit of that Skyward Sword and Wind Waker kind of combined, so it's a masterpiece of a game. Yes, there are some flaws. It's not 100% for everyone, but for me personally, it's a masterpiece in the Legend of Zelda series. I love it so much. I hold it dear to my heart. That I just have this nostalgia for the series. I absolutely love it. All the way up to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So I just wanted to come over and just quickly talk about some of the Wii games and Wii U games for Legend of Zelda. So I'm glad that I have these versions. I'm glad that I finally got Link's crossbow training. This is a really fun thing just to have added to my collection. So thank you again, Isha Gaming. And thank you for joining us today for another episode of Wormys Playhouse. And please like, comment, and subscribe. And follow me on Twitter. And we'll see you again in another episode. We'll see you then. Bye. What is that? A cricket out there? Who is that?